It's Super Tuesday. Voters in 16 states and one territory are heading to the polls to make their voices heard.
Good evening and welcome to our KTLA 5 election night special coverage. I'm Mike Upple.
And I'm Cher Calvin. While we wait for California polls to close at 8 p.m., we are already seeing results from the presidential primary on the East Coast. Let's see how these primaries are shaping out.
Polls have already closed in several states. Here are some of the results we're seeing in Alabama, Maine, Massachusetts, and Tennessee. President Joe Biden has won the Democratic primary, and former President Donald Trump has been declared the winner of the Republican primary. Vermont seems to be telling the same story for Democrats. President Joe Biden with a dominant lead, while it's a closer race between former President Donald Trump and Nikki Haley in that GOP primary race.
And of course, the biggest race in California that we are tracking tonight, the race for United States Senate. So who will advance to November for the seat once held by the late Senator Dianne Feinstein? By the end of the night, we should know.
And there are other important races tonight. To help us break it all down, we want to welcome our panel.
Political consultant Matt Klink, the owner and president of Klink Campaigns Incorporated, and Jessica Levinson, a very familiar face to KTLA viewers, a professor and director of Public Service Institute at Loyola Law School. And we want to welcome you both. It's nice to have you be with us all night long. And we'll start, of course, with California. Is just one of the 16 states involved in this Super Tuesday. Give us an overview of what you expect tonight.
We're hoping the turnout jumps up. It was really low this morning, and statewide we were looking at roughly 15%. In Los Angeles County this morning we were at about 9%. That's not good. It changes what the electorate looks like. It means you have an older and whiter electorate, and for a county as diverse as LA, that just does some weird things for races and people who are trying to figure out who's going to win.
Absolutely. I mean, turnout is going to make a huge difference. And as you said, when turnout is depressed, it means it is not representative of the electorate. And I think we're going to see that potentially from the Senate race all the way down through the county races. And we have a number of city council races up that we'll be talking about as well. And of course, competitive races in other places in Orange County. We're going to be looking at a lot of congressional races.
I'm trying to make sense of that. We know it's going to be low turnout, potentially record low turnout. And we see the California primary moving further and further away from the November election. I remember a few short years ago in 2016, the California primary in a presidential election year was in June. Is there something to that, or is it simply the math of the presidential race?
Well, we move our primary early so that we can have an influence in the presidential race. That would be, of course, if we had competitive primaries on the Republican or the Democratic side.